Origins of nervous tissue. So the thalamus and the hypothalamus originate from the diencephalon. Now, there's a lot of stuff on here. Once again, don't get bogged down by all of this. A lot of this is here for completion, but let's go through what are the really high yield concepts that you want to remember from this slide. Any thalamic-like structure in general, you want to start playing odds here, it's probably from the diencephalon, okay? Remember that the diencephalon and the telencephalon, which makes it more of the cerebral hemispheres, both come from the prosencephalon, which is essentially the forebrain. So let's just take a quick look at that here. So here's the prosencephalon. We can see that forms the telencephalon. Here's the cerebral hemispheres, and then the diencephalon, right? The thalamus, hypothalamus, epithalamus, right? It has thalamus in the name. It's probably from the diencephalon. Now let's just look at the divisions of this really quickly here. So the forebrain, embryologically, is going to form the prosencephalon, the midbrain, the mesencephalon, and the hindbrain, the rhombencephalon. Now, what's interesting about this is the midbrain actually goes on to form the midbrain. So it makes it kind of easy to remember. The tricky part are these three here, the mesencephalon, metencephalon, and the myelencephalon. So the way to kind of remember this is, remember when you think of conditions like transverse myelitis, for example, or a cervical myelopathy. What is that myle referring to? That's referring to the spinal cord, right? So anytime you see myel, M-Y-E-L or M-Y-E-L-O, myelo, that's referring to the spinal cord. So when you see myelencephalon, it is the structure of the brain and brainstem that is closest to the spinal cord, which would be the medulla, right? So going up in the brainstem, right, you have the medulla, you have the pons, you have the midbrain, right? And then you have the brain. And so as we go up, right, the medulla, myelencephalon, pons, metencephalon, kind of think of it as in the middle, and then the midbrain is the mesencephalon. Okay, and so those are probably the other big three you want to know. And then the telencephalon is a subdivision here of the prosencephalon along with the diencephalon that forms the cerebral hemispheres.